Happy holidays and winter solstice, everyone. The word solstice is made up of two Latin words meaning sun and stopping. For ancient peoples believed that the sun literally stopped in its tracks during the winter and the summer solstices, causing the shortest and the longest days to occur. The early Celtic peoples of the British Isles called the winter solstice Yule, and I think you'll get the meaning of my talk. Yule, which has come to be synonymous with Christmas, but it was not always so. Yule comes from an Old English root meaning young or youth. The pre-Christian Celts, like the ancient Greeks and the Romans, thought of the winter solstice as the sun's birthday, the day when the sun began to come back after its winter journey away from the earth. What is truly wonderful is the reaction that these people had to their circumstances during the winter solstice. With all they had to worry about, you might think that the Celts would have come up with a winter ritual of sadness and grief, or at least intercessory prayer, a prayer to ease their troubled hearts. Instead, these humanistic pagans developed Yule, a holiday time full of parties, feasting, drinking, and play acting. They splurged their food and fuel supplies on gatherings of friends and family, spiced with song and laughter, lit with bonfires, Yule logs, and candles. They dragged evergreens into their homes, somehow assured by the eternal greenness that the spring would indeed come and death was not the end of everything. The highlight of Yule was something like Mardi Gras, the Feast of Fools, a tableau or an informal play, if you will, where everything of importance was mocked and turned upside down. No subject was too painful to be made of, no personage or personality too exalted to escape the unerring needle of the people's satire. From among the villagers, they chose a fool king, whose every command had to be obeyed, no matter how ridiculous. They sang silly, meaningless songs, whose lyrics of fa la 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 come down to us today in certain carols. They got drunk on homemade meat, a beer made from honey, and overindulged in pies made from everything in their cupboards, preserved meat and dried fruits and honey and nuts and spices. The precursors to our own minced meat pies. They were afraid of the dark and the cold, so they ate, drank, and made merry. They were afraid of death, so they had a party to make fun of death. Now, how touching is that? So let us look at the actual reason this holiday exists. For Yule and Christmas are not so very different. Underneath it all, both celebrate the arrival of the celestial sun, or the Son of Christ, or, if you like, the light of the world. As with many of the celebrations now considered Christian, Christmas was simply laid on top of a winter holiday of the sun's rebirth that people had been celebrating for thousands of years. The return of the sun child on the winter solstice is why some spiritualist churches hold a child dedication in their service at this time of the year. The first written record of the reason for this holiday's occurrence on December 25th was in 354 AD in Rome, when one scholar wrote, "It was customary for pagans to celebrate the birth of the sun. When the doctors of the church perceived that the Christians had a leaning to this festival, they took counsel and resolved that the true nativity should be solemnized on that day." We know that the observance of the winter solstice was very significant in ancient times, since this date represented the moment when the days would again become longer, when light would return to the land, The rural folk who faced lean times in winter had great reason to be thankful. The use of candles as decorations and ritual objects dating from ancient times clearly indicates the importance of honoring deities of light. The sun's return meant spring was on its way, and with it, the birth of new animals to the flock and the softening of the soil to be tilled by our ancestors. Their celebration of this date as a holy day, when they worshiped and honored the sun as a deity, this was an affirmation of their survival of the cold months of winter. Much of the folklore surrounding winter solstice rituals from various cultures has to do with the very basic symbols of agriculture and animal husbandry. This indicates an association of the birth of Christ with ancient rituals, honoring a god of grain and vegetation. The Christian Mass includes, as its central climax, the sharing of bread, which represents Christ's body. Such symbology dates from well before the dawn of Christianity, as the Celts broke bread to celebrate the harvest of grain and the next season of good fortune. And the drinking of the fruit of the vine, wine or the blood of Christ, was actually originally drinking wine to honor the harvest of the grapes, and to ensure a bountiful grape harvest in the coming year. Now, celebrate with me on this special occasion. Celebrate with me the lighting of the candles upon our Yule log. Join me in prayer. Great Spirit, we honor the return of the light, the body, the mind, and the spirit. May our personal celebrations with loved ones bring peace to each of us, healing Mother Earth and all of those living upon it. Amen. Aho. Wado, thank you.